My name is Jane Sullivan. I'm from Marietta, Georgia. And on September 6th, 2015, a friend of mine called me. It was a Sunday afternoon. She called me and she said, "Hey, I got a hankering for longhorns. Why don't I bring over some fillets and we can have dinner together?" I said, "Okay, that'll be great." So she came over, and right when she got there, another friend came in, and my friend Ann, who had called me, said, "Oh yeah, Margaret said she wanted to come too." So we're all friends, so we decided to eat together, and I showed him a little clip from a funny TV show, and we all laughed, and everything was normal, and then we had this dinner. Everything was fine. We were having a nice visit, and then Ann started acting kind of strange. She was flitting around. She wanted my Wi-Fi password so she could get on her iPad. I thought, well, you never know what's going on at work. Don't know what's going on with her. But then it got really strange when she got her phone out and put her phone on the table, and it was a friend of mine from Jacksonville that she doesn't even know. They held an intervention for me. Said, "Jane, you can't continue to live the way you're living. You're way too sedentary, you're way too solitary, you don't go out and do the things that we know you like to do, and you just can't continue this way. We are very concerned about you, but we have found a solution. We have signed you up to go to Hilton Head Health on October 4th, and you're going to stay there for 4 weeks." And of course, my head was on the table in tears by then, and it stayed there most of the rest of the evening. But I knew that they were doing the right thing for me. So on October 3rd, Ann and Margaret drove me over, and then I checked in on the 4th, and I stayed here for 4 weeks. Now, when I checked in, I couldn't walk. For me, mobility was the real issue. Not so much the weight. I've been this size for 25 years, but it was the lack of mobility that concerned them. And I didn't think that I was particularly unhappy just sitting on my porch, dreaming about maybe going to Australia someday, but they realized that that was not the healthiest way that I should live. So they brought me over, A, because I wouldn't have had the stamina to make the drive, and B, they wanted to make sure I could get here, and C, if they drove me and I didn't have a car, I'd be stuck here and I'd have to do the program. So I stayed for 4 weeks, and when I arrived, I'd been using an assisted device called a Hemi walker. It's sort of between a cane and the regular walker that people are familiar with. And first time I clumped down the hall, bent over with both hands in front of me, clumping down the hall, and it took a long time to get down to the dining room. But every week it got a little bit better and a little bit better, and there were a few days that, I couldn't walk very far, but I was able to take a few steps without the walker, and every sign of progress. The people here are so supportive, not just the staff, but the other guests. I had people who I had not even ever had a conversation with would come up to me and say, "You are such an inspiration." Well, I couldn't really understand that, but it finally hit me that the fact that I was here and I was trying to get better, and they saw the struggle, but that I was pushing through it, that okay, it inspired some people, and that's fine. Whatever works. So I was here for 4 weeks, and I got home, and I thought I had a great plan. Well, it started out okay, and I did fine for about 3.5 months, and then I hit a plateau. I lost my motivation, and the bad habits started creeping back in. As I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had that story, I'm sure. So I signed up for a tune-up, and I came back for 2 weeks this April, last week of April, first week in May. And I had been using the Hemi walker up until the day before I got here, but I was determined to walk in on April 24th with just a cane. So I walked in with just the cane. I was still kind of hunched over, and I still have to use 2 hands on the cane sometime. But after about a week, I started challenging myself, and now I can walk down the hall to the dining room, however long that is, 75 feet, whatever, freehand. I mean, not every time, but sometimes I can do it freehand, and that is such a huge improvement, more than I really thought that was going to be possible. I told my friends when they said, "Oh, you're going back to Hilton Head, how long are you going to stay?" I said, "Well, I'm only going to stay 2 weeks this time. I'm going to stay half as long, but I'm going to make twice the progress." And I think I have. The water classes, I still can't do a lot of the land stuff, so I stay in the water all morning and work out, and then in the afternoon I take the classes or stretch or go stretch out on my bed because I'm tired. But every day I see improvement, and I think when I get home, my friends are going to be amazed.